This week we've travelled to China for round 2 of the Formula 1 season, the Shanghai Grand Prix. In this episode you'll see how much more a ticket to the race cost compared to the original price, what special requirements there are to get into the race, which is unique to China, what I think is an amazing deal for a flight that goes over 8,000 kilometres, and why I can't book accommodation on Airbnb. We leave Melbourne after a disastrous race for local hero Oscar Piastri, who crashed out before the race even started on his way to the grid. It was an eventful first race, with Mercedes qualifying first and second, and following that up with the same positions on the podium. We saw Max Verstappen crash out in qualifying 1, start 20th on the grid, and drive an amazing race to finish 6th. And we got to see what racing would be like with some of the biggest regulation changes to the cars in recent history. And for me, it didn't disappoint, with the first 10 to 15 laps being some of the most entertaining in recent seasons, with all the overtaking and lead changes. Now, we head to Shanghai, China for round 2. Of course, I need to book travel, find accommodation, acquire tickets to the race, and enjoy everything that Shanghai has to offer. The plan is to leave Melbourne on the 10th of March, stay in China for 7 days, and leave on the 17th. The trip from Melbourne to Shanghai is a much longer trip, and my past experiences flying have shown me that I loathe overnight flights. At 6'4", squeezing myself into an economy seat and trying to get enough sleep to hit the ground running when I arrive at my destination just doesn't seem to work. I'd much rather fly during the day, being able to read books and watch TV. With that in mind, the task was to find a cheap flight during the day with minimal stopovers. The other thought I had was to stop in a completely different country for a few days and then head to Shanghai a couple of days before the race. Options I looked at were staying in Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur, and even Singapore. What I managed to find seems like an absolute bargain. Flying with Xiamen Air, we leave Melbourne at 12:25 p.m, have a 2-hour 20-minute layover at Xiamen International Airport, and arrive at Shanghai by 10:45 p.m. the same day. And the best part? The cost of the flight was 373 Australian dollars, including checked baggage. I did have some concerns about getting into China and what visas might be required, but being Australian seems to be a positive, as I'm able to visit visa-free on my Australian passport for up to 30 days. No paperwork required before getting there. There was a bit of a concern when I started looking for accommodation in Shanghai. I pulled up my go-to website, Airbnb, typed Shanghai into the search, pressed go, and then absolutely nothing. No properties at all. After a quick bit of research, it turns out that Airbnb stopped functioning in China in 2022, removing around 150,000 properties that had previously been available. This was for 2 main reasons. 1, it's up to hosts to register guests with the local police. Hotels do this, but this was an extra barrier for Airbnb owners. And 2, Airbnbs didn't qualify as proof of accommodation, a requirement for entering China as a tourist. Hotels.com was the next place to try my luck, and thankfully, this was where all the action was. In my initial searches, it was clear that quality hotels were really affordable. I narrowed the options down to 2 areas to stay in Shanghai, Jing'an and Huangpu. Many of the hotels had minimal reviews, but one place stuck out because it not only had 7 reviews on Hotels.com, but had an amazing name, the Vacation Business Travel Hotel Shanghai. 9.7 rating, and clearly the hotel to suit everyone. This hotel has a basic room and amenities, is in a great area in Jing'an. Getting to the race from here takes about an hour on public transport, although apparently sometimes they close the trains down on race weekends, meaning the only option is a taxi. The total cost staying at the hotel for 7 nights is 520 Australian dollars, just under $75 a night. Now, this was a complete shock, and a great advert for getting tickets when they're released. When tickets went on sale for the Shanghai Grand Prix, the cheapest price you could get was $95 for general admission, all the way up to Platinum Grandstand for $941. You could even get a basic hospitality package for just over $1,500. Shanghai has a sprint race on the Saturday, so ideally, you'd want a multiple day pass. Unfortunately, the cheapest 3-day pass I could find on the resale market was $2,590 per ticket. This meant seeing if there was a better option for the main race only, and even then, the options were extremely limited. So I guess the savings we are making on flights and accommodation are going directly to the cost of the Sunday race ticket at $1,658. I have a feeling this is going to be a theme, only trying to get tickets after the previous race is finished. For anyone looking to get to F1 races, it's looking like getting them when they go on sale is the only viable option, if money's an issue. One of the interesting things about the Shanghai Grand Prix is it's the only race in the calendar to have facial recognition for entry, meaning that the name attached to each ticket must match the passport ID at the entry gates. As we arrive late on the 10th of March, the sightseeing won't start until the next day. We have 5 full days to explore Shanghai from the 11th to the 14th and the 16th. Some of the must-see sights include Shanghai Tower, the world's second tallest building, which offers 360-degree views of the city and has the fastest elevators on Earth, getting to the 118th floor in under a minute. The Oriental Pearl TV Tower is an iconic structure to take pictures of. A visit to the Zhujiazhou ancient water town also seems like a must. It is often referred to as the Venice of Shanghai. It's over 1700 years old, has many ancient stone bridges, and you can hire a boat to travel the canals. Other places I'd want to visit are the North Bund, a waterfront parklands area with great views of the city, and Fuxing Park, a place in the heart of the French concession, where we could hopefully join the elderly residents for Tai Chi or a game of cards before relaxing in the local cafes. Shanghai is famous for its food, with dishes like xiaolongbao, which are soup-filled steamed dumplings, shengjianbao, a pan-fried pork dumpling, and Shanghai-style noodles. A visit to Manor Coffee will be a must to try their dirty coffee, an espresso poured over cold milk, which is supposed to be awesome. Now, getting around the city should be no problem, with Shanghai supposedly having one of the world's best metro systems. Although finding places and getting directions online is the elephant in the room when it comes to China. It's well known that most Western websites and social media apps are blocked within China. Supposedly, having a VPN can get you around these issues, but it has to be running before you arrive. Advice online said to download and screenshot any maps, directions, bookings, or important info off the internet before you go, and to download and use local apps like WeChat and WeChat Pay. It seems that getting a local SIM card might also be a good idea, so that you have a phone number to book and pay for things while in China. ChatGPT has advised that I'd need $100 to $140 a day for food, transport and sightseeing. So I'll go with the upper limit of $140 for this. So with the costs of flights, accommodation, race tickets and a daily allowance, the total cost of round 2 comes to $3,531. This brings the total for the Formula 1 season so far to $5,763. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in a fortnight when we travel to my favourite country, Japan, for the Suzuka Grand Prix. And if you want to see how much it cost me to go to the Australian Grand Prix, click the thumbnail on the screen now.